You can't tell me that you don't believe in free will and then have debate with me trying to change my mind. How? I don't have free will, bro. What are you doing? You might as well debate a rock. Debating me will be like debating a rock. Nothing will change. Everything is already predetermined. If you've seen the thumbnail, you are in the right place. In this video, we're going to make the argument as to why free will exists independent and without the need or the existence of a god or gods. Now, before I get into it, why do I want to discuss this topic and why do I feel like this topic is important? Well, it's a few things. Number one, I saw a video online denying free will that has about over 1 million views, telling people that free will doesn't exist. Now, the issue that I have is that when these ideas spread, they spread like cancer. Because when you tell someone that they don't have free will, it's a very damaging idea. It's a very disempowering idea because you're telling people that no matter what you will, no pun intended, no matter what you will, what you decide to do, there's nothing that you can personally do to change your lives. Why? Because free will doesn't exist. Everything is predetermined. So what I want to do in this video, and I feel like it's extremely important, is that we have to destroy or show the contradictions and the holes in the arguments that free will doesn't exist, because it absolutely does. So let's look at the definition here of morality. So morality is the differentiation of intention, decisions, and actions between those that are distinguished as proper and those that are improper. Distinguish, differentiate. There can be no morality if there's without free will. It don't worky. It don't worky. Okay? You cannot have morality. You cannot have morality without free will. You need the ability to choose. It's the ability to compare actions and behavior to a standard and then making a decision based on that standard, which you cannot do without free will. But again, people that don't believe in free will or determinists will tell you, well, yes, you can. Yes, they can't. It's like, imagine this is a remote control, right? A remote control for TVs, and I say that it's a universal remote control. I tell you it's universal. It's universal, meaning that it works with any TV because it's universal. But then you go to use it with a Panasonic or Sony TV, and it doesn't work for a Panasonic or Sony TV. And I tell you, and then you come back to me and say, bro, you told me that this remote control was universal, but it doesn't work for Sony's and Panasonic TVs. And I tell you, well, it's still universal because it works for all those TVs except for those two TVs. What? That is how fucking retarded these people are that believe that you don't have free will, because they want to take free will and only apply it in certain areas in your life. That's convenient. It's either a principle or it's not. Either we're going to be consistent and follow it logically, consistently, everywhere, universally, or we're not. We have to follow this logic to its conclusion. If there's no free will, then there could be no such thing as accountability, responsibility. There's no such thing as falsehood. There's no such thing as an error, because we don't choose these things. So how can I be wrong? Right? A teacher can't grade me wrong. A teacher can't tell me, well, you're wrong, so I'm going to give you a D. She can't do that. I was predetermined. Had nothing to do with me studying or making choices to pick up a book and study. No. I was already predetermined to get a D. So how can you hold me accountable for things that are already predetermined? So there is no such thing as wrong. There is no such thing as accountability. Doesn't exist because I'm already predetermined to do these things. So a criminal, you can't put people in jail and call them criminals. Can't do that because they don't have any control or any option or choice to do anything else. It's already predetermined. But the thing with people that don't believe in free will, they'll say, no, wait a minute. Hold on. There's definitely free will there. Now, there's a huge contradiction when you debate people that don't believe in free will. Because if you don't believe in free will, why the fuck are you debating me? Why are you debating me? Don't you know that I can't change my mind? The purpose of a debate is for me to persuade you and for you to change your mind based on your ability to choose free will. If you don't believe I have free will, then why are you even having a debate? It's like having a debate with a rock. Would you debate a rock? Have you ever debated a rock? Have you ever debated someone on a movie that's already pre-recorded? That's on a movie screen. Better yet, have you ever screamed at a rock coming down the hill, telling the rock, go left, go right, go right? No. That will be the markings of an insane person. All right, of a fucking insane individual. Now, while I was debating the non-existence of free will, I asked the person that doesn't believe in free will, how do you reach your conclusion that free will doesn't exist? He said, well, I did research, and through my research, I discovered that free will doesn't exist. Okay, so let me get this straight. So through the free will, so you chose voluntarily to do research on free will, and that research that you conducted on free will told you that free will doesn't exist. Do you see any contradiction there? Is there any contradiction there? No? So a type of person that doesn't believe in free will is called a determinist. So a determinist is a follower of the doctrine of determinism, which holds that all events, including human action, are ultimately determined by causes external to the will, right? External to our will. So the issue with people that don't believe in free will, determinists, but want to have debates to prove to you that free will doesn't exist, it's just nonsensical. It doesn't make any fucking sense. If you know that I don't have free will, no matter what happens, I'm going to choose what I'm going to choose because it's predetermined, right? These are forces outside of my control, right? As per the definition, forces outside of my control that's deciding these factors for me. Why are you having a debate with me if you know you can't change my mind? If you know that I don't have free will to change my mind, why are you trying to change my mind? But now let's get in the real meat of this, right? Why do people believe in this? Why do people believe in this fucking nonsense that people don't have free will? Number one is to disempower people, right? You have these sophists, these intellectuals. They just want to disempower people. They're miserable. They feel disempowered. So they want to disempower you. They want to take away your ability or your beliefs in your own ability that you can change your life with your own decisions and actions, that you can will things to happen. They want to take that away from you. That's number one, right? That's number one. Number two is because of their past. They either want to remove free will from others that have done them wrong in one way or another, or they want to remove and excuse themselves for their decisions and behavior by removing free will. A perfect example is someone that I debated when it came to free will. So he ended up telling me that his mother gave birth to him. The father wasn't there. His mother was a prostitute and all this, and then he's in his late 20s, and he has, to say the least, an extremely horrible, difficult life. Now let me ask you guys a question. Do you think that he gives his mother any accountability for her decisions? She chose to marry the father that she did, right? A father that was never in his life. She chose to be a prostitute. Do you think that he holds his mother accountable for everything? Oh, no. Of course not. It was just things out of her control, right? It was things out of her control. She had no control, no choice in the matter. She was helpless, right? And then for him, if you look at his life, well, he has excuse after excuse. It says, what else could have I done? So he takes, not only does he take away free will and agency from his mother, he also takes away free will and agency from himself. Because whatever you fucking excuse in others, you will allow and permit in your own life. You excuse bad behavior in other people, you will allow that same behavior in your own life. And that is the real reason why people don't want to have free will. They want to remove free will from certain people's life. Remove accountability. I'm gonna tell you right now, there's no way that you can have a prosperous life if there's no accountability. For example, my mother, I hold her accountable for all the bad decisions and choices that she's made in her life. And by me holding people accountable, in turn, I don't allow those bad behaviors in my own life because I don't excuse them in other people. This is the trick the devil wants to pull to you, is to convince you that he doesn't exist. When in this case, they want to convince you that you don't have the power to change your life, that you're helpless, hopeless. There is no free will. Why? Because I said so. Oh, free will applies only in certain areas, but doesn't apply here. It's not even fucking consistent. They're not even consistent with their own fucking bullshit, which is why it's bullshit. And they want to disempower you. They want you to be helpless because they feel helpless. They feel disempowered. And when you get really down into it, it's a completely emotional position. It's not a logical position. So you don't have free will in certain areas, but in other areas there's free will. No, they don't. People that are determinists don't even believe their own bullshit. They want to believe their bullshit. They want you to believe it too. Of course, if people were truly determinists and they believe that no one had free will, they wouldn't be debating nobody, because they would know that their actions already predetermined. There's nothing that they could do that will change anything. But somehow, even though they don't believe in free will, they do believe you have the free will to believe that you don't have free will. Make it make sense. Please make this shit make sense. Make it make sense. With that, I'm gonna bring the video to an end, because there's forces outside of my control that want me to end this video. I'm sorry. I don't have the free will to continue. It's already been predetermined that I'm gonna end the video right now, bitches.